Hello. I know it's been like more than a minute, but I had gotten to the point where I was just like drained. You know that feeling? We all get there. We work, we raise families, we juggle emotions, we deal with friends, we spread ourselves real thin like butter. And when you do that, you melt. You just get to a point where you're like, I can't, I can't do this anymore. And I kept trying to find peace of mind and relax and journaling and meditating, and I had fallen away from even stretching. So I was like, oh, I'm just burnt out. And I kept feeling like it was my job. And it's more than that. It was almost putting everything about me on the back burner. And I had my day off the other day and I was like, I'm gonna hang out in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen for like 4 or 5 hours. Made homemade tortillas, ciabatta dip, prepped all my veggies to make Mongolian beef and broccoli, homemade garlic mashed potatoes, chicken fried steak. I mean, I just went out and had a blast. Had the radio blaring, was dancing around the kitchen, and I was thinking, I haven't done this in ages. And that was when I was my happiest. Pulled out my sewing kit. I just thought I have to re embrace me, what I'm happy being, right? The creative endeavors that I really enjoy. Because I love to paint and I love to draw, and art supplies aren't cheap. So some things I don't get to do as much as I want to, but these are the things that help set my soul free. And you have to ask yourself, what is it that sets yours free? What is it that you do that you feel light, that almost walking on air, dancing on air, whatever it is, that you just feel 100%. And it's sad because we don't get to embrace these things on the regular because we're busy, and then by the time we get home, we're tired. And it's just a full day in life can be like a day at an amusement park where all the rides are broken and all you did was stand in line in the heat. And you're just like, was that worth it? I don't know. And it's hard to even spend time with family, and because like I said, we're all working. And it's funny, my son still calls me on a regular basis. It's just that he's not close. I enjoy talking to him, but his friends enjoy talking to me too. So a lot of times it's like I didn't even really get to catch up on what he's doing, how he's doing, what they're working on, which I think right now is a C-130. Big old plane. And I don't know. He's ready to be done. He said, I have 30 days. Starts my 30 days till I'm completely done, and then he gets to come visit for a little bit. And I'm super excited. He'll have turned 18 before he gets here, but that doesn't mean that I can't surprise him. Anyhow, that's my happy news. Like, I'm going to get to see my son after I haven't seen him since December. I've seen him once since December, I think, or November. I don't know. Either way it goes. This is me just rambling because I'm just like a kid in a candy store. Like, what? Even my daughter kind of was like, what? Really? Because they have a love-hate relationship, as all siblings do. They love to hate each other. They hate to love each other. Hey, we all have many relationships like that, period, in general. That, like, oh, why am I even spending time with you? We don't even mesh well, like oil and water, right? And I woke up this morning and I just laid there and I was like, I don't feel like there's a lot of people that inspire me. That sounds bad. Maybe I should start watching the 100, whatever it is. Not the 100 Club, but where you watch about people succeeding. And it motivates you to do the same. But when you're around a bunch of people that they're suffering and going through it, that starts peeling. This isn't everybody, but this starts pulling the healer out of me. And that's where I get drained. And I'm just like, I need some inspiration. And that's where I go and sit alone. Because I guess, as we all have to do, you have to inspire yourself. You have to dig back in your wardrobe and go, I forgot I had this clown nose, or I forgot I had this wig, or I forgot I had, whatever it is that was in that trunk of locked away memories of who you were and who you truly are at heart. And when you get back down to who you truly are, the real you start smiling and shining again. I went 2 days without makeup yesterday and the day before and went to work and they were like, "Are you sick? Have you been crying? Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm just not wearing makeup." I don't, you don't wear makeup. I wear makeup every day. I was taught less is more. And in the gaudy world we live in, I don't think anyone's being taught that. But hey, public service announcement, less is more. You don't have to go around and bazooka a face on. Homer Simpson made that gun for Marge. We know how it turned out. So when it comes down to it, less is more. And tapping into you will help you shine again. Because when you're focused on the world around you, like I said, it starts to pull you down and drain you. And even if you're not somebody who helps others to heal, you still sit and listen to the drama. It's like being a bartender. They're not necessarily very happy because they're listening to everything that is bothering everybody. We got to learn to start telling more positive things. Like, my son is coming home. But a lot of it is we keep good things to ourselves because we know how people generally are, which is sad. If you have good news, they don't. They're like, "Oh, good for you." And then they start to peck at you. There's a girl at work. Oh, she's very young. She aggravates the fire out of me. 'Cause every day, like if I don't fix my hair, or all I did was blow dry it yesterday, well, I found out I have naturally wavy, curly hair. So it's frizzy. Days it's raining, I'm not necessarily going to straighten it because it's going to frizz. And she looked at me and said, "Your hair is really frizzy. You look like you just got out of bed." And I was just like, "Thanks." There's so many things I could say to counteract that, but what's the point in picking at somebody that's young, first of all, doesn't even understand the magnitude of their words? Luckily, they don't offend me because I don't care what people think about me. I don't care how you perceive me. I don't care if you think what I'm wearing looks good. I don't care if what you think I'm working on is worth my time. It's my life. I've had to learn, and I've shared several times. You are the captain of your ship. Don't let nobody take it because they're going to drive it like they stole it and then wreck it and walk away. So be the boss. Your company, you're the CEO, embrace your power. If you have power nowhere else in this world, you have it in your life. You have the ability to say, "I want more, I deserve more, I'm going to discipline myself and I'm going to work for it." I made dinner the other night for myself, my daughter, neighbors. She had just had her chemo pump taken out and I knew she was tired. And I said, "I got dinner covered." That's when we had chicken fried steak and all the whole fixins. And they were super thrilled. Like, oh, like they went out to dinner. Then she asked, "What day are you off this week? Or what's your early day?" Told her. And they're like, "We're going to barbecue." I was like, "Oh, cool. I just bought a rack of ribs. You could throw them on there while I'm at work." And then when I get home, I'll have ribs. And then they're doing all the other stuff. And I'm like, man, I love the community effort. And we all have to get back to it because some days some of us are up here and other days they're down here. But it's equal give and take. We have other neighbors that it's like, they take. And you have to learn that there's got to be a boundary with that because if you give and take with them, they take too much. Now they're using you. There's a difference between building unity and being used. And you have to start balancing the two situations to show yourself that you have respect for you. You know, I have a coworker at work that he is trying to start small business things that he makes and sells. And he's always asking my advice. And I said, you only like me for my brain. He was like, yes, I like your brain. You're smart. Yes, I know. And don't tell anybody that. Keep it to yourself. But I started realizing what was going on. He's asking me questions, then he's turning around and making a profit. I had to tell myself, skirt, if I'm going to be a liaison for your business, we're going to have to talk equally and fair. That's anytime you have a gift of thinking quickly, creating fast, solving problems. My whole life I've had capabilities I didn't realize I had. Even being quick-witted, smart-mouthed, but in a humor way. Making people laugh something off and getting them to calm down. I didn't realize that was a gift. But the more I see what I put out into the world compared to what's coming back, I'm like, okay, it's time to sit back, figure out how to package that up, and share it with the world, right? And sadly, yes, at some point, there's got to be a monetary exchange because we all have to work. But I learned if you love what you do, it's not a job. But the job that I do, I don't love. Therefore, all these situations I've been put in are here to remind me of how to structure my world, what to take, what to let go, what to utilize that will help me grow. So even you, if you start paying attention to the world around you, then you're going to start finding the lessons that can turn into blessings. You're going to start finding the guidance that's being given to you, because I worked so hard the other day, last week. I can't even say the other day, it was last week. And I was like, dang, these came back. I bought a workout system and have yet to use it because I was working so hard. And it was like, you know what? I'm doing the work of 3 to 4 people in my shift that I work. And a lot of people say that. And I was trying so hard to be lazy and pull back. And when you can resolve issues, think clearly, it's like looking at a puzzle and going, I see where all the pieces go. When you can do that, you work faster than most people. But also when you have a drive to want to succeed, you work harder than most people. And sadly, the world that we live in, a lot of people don't care. They don't want to have families. It's too expensive. They don't want to work, a waste of their time. They don't care if they have money. They stay at home with their parents. They don't want to learn to drive because there's Uber. There's this defragmentation of the way life is now compared to the way that it was when we were younger. You know, we all wanted to grow up and have our own house and make our own rules, and I want to be a millionaire. And at some point, I know reality hit. The reality of the way the world works. There's a level that many of us will never cross. But that comes down to not the lack of opportunity, but the lack of discipline, the lack of foresight, the lack of planning, the lack of studying to say, okay, I don't have all the information I need, but I'm willing to get it. So sometimes you have to put forth an extra effort to go, that makes sense now. Because when you can make it make sense, now you can turn it around to your benefit. Now you can start building, and it's like a kid that you throw a bucket of Legos on the floor and they're kind of like, what do I do with that? You can tell the difference of who those children will be based off of what they do with them. You have the ones that will put them in their mouths. You have the ones that will throw them. You have the ones that will just put them in their pockets. You have the ones that will build cathedrals. And you're like, damn, how did you even figure out to do that? But this is even the concept with adults. Give them a problem and you'll see how they're going to handle it. If they cry about it, if they're upset. There was a woman on the phone the other day just complaining. I kept thinking, I wish she'd go away. I wish she would get out of my ear. I don't want to hear her anymore because she was yelling and upset. And I thought, you couldn't have this conversation at home? Like, no, you literally have to be walking around the store so everyone else feels your pain. You want someone to sympathize with you, but you're on the phone. And it has to get to a point where you've got to find those people that say, oh, we have a problem. We have a problem. We can solve that. That's not that hard. But understandably, when you have people that don't solve problems and they're always coming to you with a problem, eventually you have to go, look, I can teach you, I can guide you through the tools you need for problem solving. We were all taught that when we were in like 5th grade. We had to write the research papers and the steps and how we got through it. And it's almost like everyone just, what? Woman, what? Then it's a problem. Yes, now solve it. You can either focus on the problem and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, or you can find a solution, stay positive, and pray. Because you will find the guidance that you need. I was sitting outside last night and I had to refocus my brain back to thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the job I have that gives me the ability to put the roof over our head and the clothes on our back and the food in our bellies. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the protection. Thank you for letting me know what love is, even when I'm alone. These are things I had to keep reminding myself that were kind of like shrinking down because I felt so overwhelmed and burdened. And that's the thing, when you're trying to stay positive, you're going to find so much negativity. I promise you. That is one thing that you cannot divert from in this world, being negative. Because I got home early yesterday and I was still tired and laid down and got up and ate and laid back down. But it was, like I said, it wasn't what I was doing in the world. It was more so the drainage of the mental and the non-inspiration and just the lack of other people with a drive that I am taking part in life with. Because I've started seeing masks of people just fall off, and these were people that were friends. And it's like, I didn't want to believe that about you, but I see it so clearly. I can see clearly now your mask is gone. And it's sad because then we have to pull back from these people. And when we have to pull back from these people, it's almost like you feel like you're a fake and a fraud because you can't tell them that they are. But you got to pay attention to who hangs around who. What's the chitter chatter? What's the circle? What goes on behind your back? Because there are people that will plot and scheme. And it sucks because all they got to do is grow and heal. And then we could all be real friends that are there for one another. A community that can support, inspire, help. Not that hard. It's really not that hard to be a good person and choose to be around good people. And if you can't choose to be around good people, choose to be alone. Because it's better to be authentic and yourself than it is to have to keep switching identities to be around people that really are serving you no good. So I know I've already chatted too long and probably took you down a winding road that will lead you somewhere it won't. I don't know. But peace, love, and light.